Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fun Facts Friday.
Hi. Woo. Another glorious Friday.
Yes,
Fun Friday.
so glad it's cleared up. The skies are clearing a little bit better than they were the last couple of days out here. We're here, we're alive,
Yeah.
so we're safe. So today is Friday,
Yes.
August 21st, 2020. It is National Senior Citizens Day. It is also National Spumani Day. Not Spumani the drink,
So it's both my days.
both your days. I don't know, because National Senior Citizens Day on census www.census.gov, they recognize a senior as 65 and over is considered a senior.
Oh.
So yeah, you don't qualify
Oh.
yet as far as this is concerned. On
Okay.
August 19th, 1988, President Ronald Reagan signed Proclamation 5847, declaring August 21st as National Senior Citizens Day. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there were 40.3 million U.S. residents 65 years and older in the 2010 census. But there were more than 54 million on July 1st, 2019. So, as some of you may know, this is another census year. And if you haven't filled out your census, go to www.census.gov so you can be counted. But that number may have increased from 54 million in July by once they calculate all the census numbers for this year, it might have increased, especially because people from then that may have been 64, now they're 65. So that number will keep going up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You know it's gone up.
right.
One day I'll be in that county.
One day we'll get there. This day encourages the supporting senior citizens to live their lives to the fullest and as independently as possible. And I know that nowadays it seems like a lot more senior citizens are doing things on their own. Because if you look out in the stores, you see people, you see senior citizens driving. So just because you have turned 65 doesn't mean that you have to be in a care home and not doing anything. You know, if you're healthy and able to get out there, do it. We support you. You know,
Right.
I have respect for senior citizens. You know, you at least that's how I was raised. You respect your elders. You know, because that could be
Mm-hmm.
someone's grandma or one day be you. You
Right.
know,
Right. Just what the old folks say, just keep
just
on
keep
living.
on living. Keep on living.
Well,
You'll
I
get there.
I know that my mother is well over 65, but she is into so much. Sometimes I have to stop and say, who's the adult here? Child wise, the
Who's the
daughter
parent?
and the
Who's the
mother.
child?
I always have to stop because she's on the go. I get on her case, but deep down, I'm happy that she's doing that. It keeps her mind, together. It keeps her, more upbeat. She doesn't dress like the little old lady running around in the
Right.
moo all the time. She thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. So I talk about her, but I'm just going to keep on living so that I can be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that sometimes they say that when people retire, that it's not long after they retire that they unfortunately do die or get sick and stuff because they retire, they don't have anything else that they feel like they have to live for or to do, and they just get at home and they just sit and do nothing. So I think it is important that the senior citizens still get out there, still
Mm-hmm.
live their life. Maybe
Get
sit
out
down and have a cup of
there, get out.
spumani.
Right, right. Mm.
And so when I first heard spumani, you think Asti spumani, spumante, but I think that's spumante. This is National Spumani Day, which is the ice cream spumani. And this came from www.today.com. And spumani ice cream is the ancestor of Neapolitan ice cream. It has layers of pistachios, pistachio, cherry, and chocolate ice creams. And it's mixed with nuts and bits of candied fruit. And so I have a picture of a layer of spumani ice cream. And spumani ice cream also was known to, what was I about to say? It's cut, not so much that it was scooped out of like a bowl. It was cut, sliced.
It's like ice cream pie.
You can see that picture there. It's like if it was a log and you just sliced it.
Slice it slices.
Yep. And so that's the spumani ice cream. And you can see they just took out this pistachio ice cream, and the cherry ice cream, I think, turned to strawberry for Neapolitan, and then chocolate and vanilla. And so legend has it that immigrants from Naples, Italy, brought spumani to the U.S. during the 19th century. And then just through progression, it got to where it became Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah.
Makes you want to go get some Neapolitan ice cream.
Well, I know my girlfriend is, she's Italian. Her family's Italian. She was born here, but you know, her family is native of Italy. So that is something that is, and they always have it. So I know that when I was like, oh, this is a strange Neapolitan ice cream, and she said, no, it's not Neapolitan.
But yeah.
So I said, does it have the spumante drink in it? Yeah.
Oh, hey, Wilson.
Hey, Wilson.
Oh, she's on mute. We can't hear her.
Oh, yeah. There she is.
Better late than never.
My ego.
But you're not really late because we just started.
Oh, did you? What happened?
Yes, we had some technical difficulties getting our sound to work. Yeah, getting our sound to work. So.
Okay.
Yep. So you're not late because we just finished talking about our national days, and today, our topic for today is not really a fun fact, but it is a fact that are important facts, I guess I will say. We're going to talk evacuation.
My ego has landed.
Yes, we are going to talk evacuation. And are you ready? Like we mentioned, the sky is clear here in Fairfield today than it was the last couple days. There are a lot of wildfires going along in California, and some people are being forced to evacuate. And so we wanted to discuss some of the differences in evacuations and just give some tips on things that you can do to prepare for if that does happen to you. Because you really, this is the first time that I've experienced it being that close to me. I've had family members and friends who have had to evacuate before, but it was the first time for me. And so it helped to know what did they do to prepare. And even having in your mind some things to do, it still could be nerve-wracking when you're in that moment, like, okay, let me get this done. What do I need to do? Make sure I grab everything, make sure I pack everything. So we want to give some tips on things to do to prepare yourself and your household for evacuations, because the fires are not over, unfortunately. And this also could be if you're in a state that has flooding or hurricanes. You know, some of you come from different places all over that may be watching right now, and you may have a different type of disaster than we are experiencing the fires in California. You may have floods, tornadoes, hurricanes. Could be a lot of different reasons why you are required to evacuate. And these tips that we give can apply for anyone.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
So our information on this with the evacuation levels and preparedness tips came from www.fscdc.gov. www.fs.usda.gov. Again, that's www.fs.usda.gov. And so first, we're going to talk about different evacuation levels. There's levels to this, man. We have to add a little bit of fun in here. And so sometimes you'll be like, okay, was it an evacuation warning or was it evacuation order? What's the difference? So level 1, there's 3 levels. Level 1 is an alert. During an evacuation
and that's
alert,
what I'm currently under right now.
An evacuation alert?
Yes, I'm under alert.
Okay. So alert is telling you that a wildfire threat is in your area. It would be wise to consider planning and or packing in the event an evacuation becomes necessary. Level 2 is a warning or notice. What I noticed the other day when they sent the warnings, some of the warnings were maybe an hour later turned into an order, but then there also were some warnings that the warning came out and maybe 30 minutes later the order came. So if you get the alert, that's the time really that you want to be start getting everything ready, because the warning may not last that long before it turns into an order and you have to get out. An evacuation warning or notice, which is level 2, is a high probability of a need to evacuate. You want to remember the 6 P's. We're going to discuss those later, the 6 P's. And at that point, if you have any livestock or large animals, that's when you want to move them to a safe place. Another thing I want to add here is also if you have family members who may need a little extra time. If you fly at the airport, they say, okay, if you have children or elderly or need assistance, now you get to board first. Well, this is an unfortunate time. You're not traveling for vacation, but during the warning, that is when those people who would fit in that category might want to start leaving so that you have the extra time to evacuate. Level 3 is a request or order. And once you get that order, that means leave. It's time to go. Is a order by the government to evacuate your area. Sometimes they will give you a specified time period and say everyone must evacuate within the next 15 minutes. Sometimes they just say, and most of the times I believe they will say evacuate now. There are pre-designated routes and they'll tell you, nope, turn here, go here. They'll have the sheriff and law enforcement officials out directing you where to go. They will have roadblocks so that you're not going in the direction of the fire. And usually after that point, once the order has been placed, you cannot return back to your home until that order has been lifted. So take what you could take and know that you may or may not be able to recover anything else, and you definitely cannot go back until that order is lifted. If you are told to evacuate and get an evacuation order, you will want to check in with your local Red Cross shelter, even if you don't intend to stay there. And I thought this was some useful information because your family may be looking for you and not know how to find you. But if you check in with the Red Cross shelter, you can let them know, hey, this is my name, this is my address. I am going to a hotel or I'm going to this city. That way, if your family's looking for you and they call the missing person's number or call Red Cross, they will be able to tell them, yes, that person did check in, so that your family members know that you're safe. And that's one of the main things. If they're calling looking for you, they want to know that you're safe and you were able to get out of your home. So check in with the local Red Cross shelter, even if you don't plan to stay there. Drive with your lights on. Yes, go ahead.
No, so I was going to say real quickly, I know that Kaiser, for their members that are older, your seniors, 65 and over, they do call to check in. I know that they kept calling my parents' house, but of course, no answer. Right. So they called her cell phone and she didn't answer, or something happened. But anyway, they called me yesterday to find out. They go down then by your list of people that you on your list, but they want to make sure it's, the guy just said it's a courtesy that they do to make sure that their members are safe.
That's good.
That
That's
we're not able to check in at the Red Cross.
right. That's good
Right.
that they do that.
That is good.
Yeah, and
Now I was going to ask, do you know, or does it say whether or not that sequence is something that is always takes place, or can you sometimes be right at the third stage of evacuation?
Yes, it may not always go in that order, because depending on how fast the fire or whatever the emergency is, it may not give you a warning at all, and you may instantly go to an evacuation order.
Okay.
So my commander, they knocked on his door about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and told him to leave now.
Wow.
So he just, grabbed his keys and his what was like right there. And, and I can just imagine being woken up out of your sleep, because you're already, when you're, in your same mind, so to speak, you're still get discombobulated when they tell you on the blowhorn, what you have to do. Because I experienced the blowhorn thing with them going up and down the street, not this time, but the time before. But he did say that he had to go right then and there. So he had no time to pack up anything.
That could be pretty rough.
Yeah.
So let's see where.
So it would be good to know what kind of things to have. So maybe you can have them in a box or in one area or something where you could grab. So, a listing of what type of things to have together would be good.
And that comes in with the 6 P's that they suggest. And those 6 P's are people, personal items, prescriptions, photographs, pets, and papers. So people is, you want to have a plan for all of the people in your household, and that includes a meeting place, because you may get separated. If it's a rush and everyone's leaving and a bunch of people are walking out, you're in separate cars. You want to have a meeting place. Okay, if we ever have to evacuate, we're going to meet up at this location. And these are things, that type of plan, where your personal items are, the different things, all of these P's are things that you want to share with everyone that's in your household, because one person may not be there, but if they're the only person that knows how to find everything, the other people that are there will be lost. So it's important to make sure you share all of this information with everyone in your household. Personal items include toiletries, food and water for 2 to 3 days, and special personal possessions. Now, if you don't have time to grab all those things, I would say don't worry about it. Try to, the first thing that is the most important is your safety. So if you can't grab anything and you only have time to get yourself out, get out to safety. That's number one. Don't say, well, I can't leave because I have to make sure I get my papers together. No, get yourself out and get to safety.
So you know what? All my papers on this.
Your important personal papers and things like that.
Right. So it's good to scan, your things while you have the chance. You don't think that something is going to happen, but you never know.
That's a good idea.
So now, yeah. So you can scan
I said,
it.
that's a good idea.
So this
or the
has
cloud.
all of
Right.
my information, right, and yeah, and then you can save
Cloud,
it in the cloud.
Dropbox, all those type of things, but to have it somewhere that you don't have to grab a piece
But
of paper.
just in case the cloud does rain and stuff starts going everywhere, you, you have it here.
Yeah.
Or look, or you do it old school too, and you have it all in here.
Exactly. Yep, a
Yeah.
fire safe box to keep your
But
important papers.
but pictures and everything is here, and you know my brother Mel put all mine on a little hard drive, so I just have to snatch it and go. I don't have to panic, you know, about the pictures.
Right. That's a good way to keep up. And so that's papers, important papers. Some of those, especially your birth certificates, and the P's are not in any particular order, but for papers, you want your birth certificates. If you have passports, copy of your passports.
Mm-hmm.
If you have your deed to your home,
Oh,
if you own your home, you know, even if you're renting, a copy of your lease, possibly just
I
something,
got
because
my,
that would be a proof of address.
yeah, no, I have my, yeah, you have all of those
Yeah.
papers with
All
you.
of
Yeah.
those papers are important documents, and if in the case everything, you lose your home, you need to have your birth certificate and photo ID so that you can recover the other items that you need to get. Nowadays, it makes it a little more convenient because bills, utility bills, things like that, a lot of them are online. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to try to grab all of that stuff. So it makes it a little easier, but birth certificates are a lot harder to come across. And especially if you don't have an ID or anything like that, you definitely want to have those as important papers.
Well, and your pictures,
Right. And pictures, because you
pictures.
can't recover those either.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just always, you know, that's my main thing is pictures. I know that when I was a baby, um, I think up until like 2, there's not very many pictures of me. The pictures that I do have of me is because somebody else, you know, had a copy of it or what have you. Because my great grandmother's house that I'm named after, it caught on fire,
Hmm.
and so everything was there.
But
So
anything that you consider important to you, because we may not have named everything that you may
mhm,
want to keep, but any documents or anything that you consider important that are irreplaceable to you. It may be a letter
right,
from somebody, you know, if that's something that you never want to lose, keep it.
keep it. Look,
Fire safe boxes are good. Yes, keep them. And that also goes along with prescriptions. You want to have a list of your current prescriptions that you are using. Again, um, some hospitals have made that more convenient. I at least know Kaiser, where you could just log
yes,
on and see a list of your prescriptions. But if you
right.
don't have that kind of access, you definitely want to periodically write a list of the prescriptions, the name of the prescription, the dosage, how often you take it, so that you can have that and get that recovered. And if someone was to find you and you don't know, or you aren't able to communicate, they will be able to look at your list and know what kind of medications you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Photographs is on the list, and any other mementos that cannot be replaced. Pets, you want to have a plan in place for pets secured. Um, you want to have them secured, and a lot of times pets can escape. And it's it's funny because I do have a box that has, I keep my dog's food in the box, and her collars. You want to make sure that they're collars. If you notice that there's an emergency going on and it may possibly get to an evacuation, put your animal's collar on if they have it. Make sure your tags are current on there, um, and just keep the collar on. She's had her collar on for the past 3 days, and just because pets can get nervous, they can get scared, they may get out. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know what could happen. If you take them somewhere and someone else is watching them, it's a new environment for the dog, or cat, whatever animal you have. So you want to make sure that you do everything you can to protect your animals. And if they happen to get lost, if they have tags, they can be easier to be located if they're not chipped. And even if they do have a microchip, it can take time in that process versus someone finding them and calling the phone number that may be on the tag.
Right. Or you get text messages from your sissy saying, "Don't forget my Denise."
Don't forget her food, pack her up. Yes.
Right.
Yes, I definitely had her packed up, and I had my suitcase and had her bag of food or leash or car. I even packed her brush. I don't know why I packed her brush. Like, it's not something I use every day, but I packed her brush.
Right, right. I didn't care what you had packed. I said, get Denise and go.
Probably to brush the ash off of her.
That probably is what I was thinking, because I had her brush, I had her food, and grabbed her water bowls. We were like, okay, come on, let's go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were ready. We were ready. So any other tips you might want to share with the people as far as for?
So what I would suggest though is, we drive through our neighborhoods all the time, but in a time of an evacuation of any kind, it can get chaotic. And as you said, yeah, you set up a meeting point. I know my girlfriend, she went one way because when you're coming out of subdivisions, you have this policeman telling you go this way, this National Guard telling you go. They have you going all different kinds of way, and then you're trying to stay together. You tend to get separated. So I know that they all met up at the Safeway parking lot, and so she was there waiting, because though where they live at, it's not that far from Safeway. Maybe it'd take you 5 minutes on a normal day, but it took them almost an hour to get there.
Wow. I believe it, because cars were all over the place.
Well, it took my parents about an hour and 20 minutes to get here because of everybody going out. But what I want to say is that to make sure that you know your surroundings. So I would suggest not only driving it during the day, but drive it at nighttime too, because you can get easily turned around at nighttime. But find different routes out of your neighborhood, because if everybody's going the same way, that creates a lot. But so find different ways that you can get out of your neighborhood to a more safer ground. But make sure, like you said earlier, is if you have family with you, to make sure that you have a meeting spot that is set up, and you just sit there and you wait until everyone is there.
Good idea.
One way, because how this is fun facts, so I want to share a fun way to maybe make sure that your family and everybody knows where the paperwork is, what to grab when things do come to an evacuation. And do drills, make it fun, even if you have young children. And I can say, because I remember in my house we used to do drills, like, okay, we're gonna do a fire drill, what would you do? And we were young, but that still came in handy, because those are things that get into their head. And I remembered, okay, I need to make sure I grab this from over here, make sure I do this, and just have a fun drill when it's not an emergency with everyone in the house, and see, how quick can we do it? Who can do it quicker? And just to practice and to know where the stuff is, how quick can you pack up everything. Another one I wanted to add on here is an inventory of your house. Taking pictures of, how it said, pictures of things that are irreplaceable, but even taking pictures of things that can be replaced that are of value to you. TVs, stereos, have a picture of it. I've heard some people say take a video through the house, because it can capture things. But either one or both, And if you can get model numbers, take pictures of those so that in the case everything burns down, you have documentation that this is what you actually had in your house. You know, when it
Right.
comes to filing for insurances and things like that, that you have proof that this is really what I had. I'm not just saying I had a 65-inch TV, or I'm not just saying I had this or that in the top Bose speakers. And, you know, people will say they have top of the line stuff, but may not have it. If you take pictures, you have documentation that that is something that you truly have.
Right. I know that the last big fire, I did have time after I did get everything packed. I took a picture of the everything packed in the cars, and then I came through the house and I did a video.
Yeah. And
I did
video
a
sometimes
video.
can capture more than snapping pictures, especially if you don't have time to walk
Right.
around to every little thing.
But because you know that though you want to take everything, but you can't, but at
Right.
least you have that. Did I get serial numbers and all that stuff? No.
Right.
But you knew I had it. You know,
Right.
you knew I had it. So yeah, that is a good thing. I know with drills and everything, that is always good. I know that when you live in a 2-story home, you need to make sure that you have one of those ladders. Johnny used
Ladder.
to always make sure we had the ladders just in case we had to go out the window.
Upstairs.
You
Right.
know, you throw out that little ladder and you know, it just hooks on to the thing. It's like the rope ladder,
Yep.
and you go down. I know when I was younger, my parents, when they did the drills, you would have to go in the house and know where to jump from, where you wouldn't break your leg. I don't think that's legal anymore, but
But even with those ladders, like you said, include that in the drill so that you know how to do it, and you won't be scared. Because I remember practicing those drills, it's wobbly, it can be scary, and you don't want the first time that you do that to be in an emergency when you're having to move fast and get out. So
yeah, well, they do the drills and everything in school, so why not do them at home?
right. So yeah, so those are the tips that we had for emergency preparedness. Wilson, you have any other tips you could think of that we did not mention to help prepare for an emergency?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. What to take, you know, making that plan, where to meet, you know, and I think one thing that, especially in this one, I happened not to be there when it was happening, but being able to talk back to the family and know what was going on. I think one thing that really hit me the biggest was thinking of, you know, when we're thinking of what should you take, just realizing that most things are replaceable. And if you have to just get out, then get yourself out.
Right.
You know, get yourself out, get your family out, get your pets. You know, if you can get your pet, grab them, and everything else can pretty much be replaced. You know, so when it comes down to it, save yourself, save your family, think about life, because everything else is not as important as we really think it is. You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Putting that situation is like you said, we want to take everything, but it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can't carry everything.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, we have so many things that are near and dear to our
Right.
hearts and everything, but you know, that's why I say, you know, while you have the time, you know, start taking pictures and put them on, you know, one of those little zip drives I had.
Right.
At least
Right.
not
And that's a good
you're not
idea.
gonna ever get them all, but you know, just
Right.
some. But you know what? One thing we forgot is I know that if you have the alert, right, and
Oh yes.
you have time, get some gas.
To make sure your cars have gas. That is a good one. And I didn't realize you were going there, but also with the alerts, I want to let you guys know you can send a text to 888-111. You text your zip code. This is whatever zip code you're in, wherever you are, and that is how you can get. It's through Nixle. is what it's
Mm-hmm.
called. So if you're the local police department and other local agencies, wherever you are, you can text a zip code, any zip code, to 888-777, and you'll receive real-time alerts. Sometimes, now, technology is still technology, so sometimes you may not get them right away, but once you text that, you can also go to www.nixle.com and register your phone number. And you can always go to Nixle and search for the current alerts in your area. I know that is what really helped. That's how I was able to get a lot of the alerts for my area, to see them as the different warnings and orders were coming, is because I had text my zip code to the 888-77, sorry, 888-111.
Oh, well. But you know, also when those the emergency alerts come up on your phone and it makes that screeching noise.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's when your heart pumps.
Now those are the actual orders, and once it gets to that level,
Mm-hmm.
the Nixle ones that you get are the preliminary ones leading up to give you a little more time, if they're able to give you more time. So, well, what is going on in our
right, and it gives you when that one comes up, that emergency alert, once that comes up, it gives you everything that you need to know. Yeah, it's yeah, and it starts telling you where the road closures are, where the shelters are, because if you noticed the other day, there was like 4 or 5 shelters listed, but as each morning came through, some of those shelters were beginning to fill, and so they were kind of off.
Right.
So you got to make sure that in your mind that you know where each one of these shelters are. Now, if you want, you can set up to meet your family at one of the shelters as well. You know, you go in, you get in line and get me.
To be ready for the rest of us coming.
Right. And, you know, try to make sure in your car, if you have to leave on the moment's notice, you know, I always try to keep a blanket or a sweatshirt or something in my car, and some socks, because you know you don't know.
And another thing that might be smart to do when you're taking pictures of your inventory, if you take a picture, if you go to the back of the car, usually you'll see the make of your car, but taking a picture of your license plate and the car, because then if that's all that they have, you will be able to say, you know, if they go to DMV and look up your license plate, they'll be able to see exactly what kind of car you have. And so that's another thing to add in your photos of your home inventory, is a picture of the license plate and the make of your car.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So in our community, we have some things going on tomorrow that I'm going to share a flyer. This is in Vallejo. It is a grab and go Vallejo. They are giving away masks, hand sanitizers, fresh food boxes, health screenings, giveaways, and more. This is all while supplies last. It is tomorrow starting at 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the North Vallejo Community Center parking lot on Whitney Avenue. That is off of Fairgrounds exit off of 80. And so that is a grab and go in Vallejo.
It's good.
It is
Looks like that's sponsored by CC Sebastian.
Yes, CC Sabathia and Pitchin Foundation.
Yeah.
The food bank. Who is CC Sabathia?
He is a baseball pitcher, and he's a native of Vallejo. He's from Vallejo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Professional. Yeah. He's a professional baseball player.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so he's
really good
sponsoring that. He's part of that. Now, I don't know if I can't say he's going to be there, but he may. You never know.
Right.
But yeah, but he is sponsoring that, and that is tomorrow from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the North Vallejo Community Center at 1121 Whitney Avenue in Vallejo. So yes, you definitely want to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I think I may go by there. No.
Yeah, so that is our show for today. We try to share a few fun facts, but some serious facts that hopefully will help someone if you have to prepare to evacuate. So, yes. So we'll see you guys later. See you next Friday.
All right.
Yeah, so as the song say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So
that's right. Stay
That's
ready.
good.
Don't have to
That's
get ready.
good.
And we'll
Good.
catch Sissy
but
in
on
the chat
Sunday,
on Sunday. Catch Sissy in the chat of the
hit me in the chat.
live streaming www.wofccfairfield.com. They are live streaming the services, and you will catch Sissy in the chat. Deuces.
Deuces.
Hit me up. You say